nothing better than watching you smile. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ain't nothing better than watching you laugh out loud, my baby. Ain't nothing better than watching you be you. Ain't nothing better than right now. In your eyes lie the secrets I don't wanna miss.
Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is my movie review of The Amazing Spider-Man. I saw it today at 420 in 3D, not IMAX, but I saw it in 3D. There's a ticket. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to hold it up, but there you go. Spider-Man, Spider, it's Spider 3D, RPX Spider 3D. If you can see that or not. Anyway, this movie, of course, is a reboot of the the Spider-Man films that came out. I believe the first one came out in 2002. That starred Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst, as Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson. This movie stars Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy, which is actually in the comic books is Peter Parker's first true love in the comic books. And you have I'm pronounced his name right, Ralph Fiennes, I think that's a pronounced his name, Ralph Fiennes, who stars Dr. Kirk Connors. You have Dennis Leary as Captain Stacy, and you have Martin Sheen and Sally Field as Uncle Ben and Aunt May, and you have a brief cameo by Campbell Scott as Richard Parker, and Embeth Devitz as Mary Parker, Peter Parker's parents. In this movie, they kind of change around the origin story. This review is going to be with minor spoilers. Okay, I'm not going to put major spoilers in this. I don't want to ruin it for people that want to go see it. And I know this movie's going to make. Let me just first say it's going to make a lot of money. But first of all, let me say I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I had trepidations going into it. Not like I said, like most people before you saw the trailer. After that first, that trailer that I guess you just saw him just doing the point of view thing. But then after the second, I think, and the third trailer came out, I'm a little bit more confident of it. And let me just say, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I actually love this Spider-Man reboot. Like I said before, they kind of change around his origin story a little bit. They included, like you see from the trailer, they kind of put Peter Parker's parents into the story. They kind of worked it into the origin story. And in this movie, let me see, this movie I liked it a lot because, like I said, I think the story is more involving, and I like the way they tied it in from his parents. His parents, and they tied them in with Dr. Kirk Connors, aka the Lizard. I like the way they tied it all in together, mixed in with his origin story. I like the way they did it, the way they proceeded, the way they laid it out, basically, for you in the story. And another thing that I actually loved about this movie was they had Peter Parker being it's not Peter Parker so much, but had Spider-Man, the character, actually being the wisecracking guy that most people read, when you grew up, reading Spider-Man comics like I did. One of the things that made, Spider-Man famous was that he was wise. He was always joking around when whenever he'd be fighting villains, he'd be joking around, and Andrew Garfield did a lot of that, which I absolutely loved. And another thing which I loved, I know a lot of people gave it crap for the CGI on the Lizard. I thought the Lizard was presented, actually, I love the CGI on the Lizard. I think the Lizard looked fantastic to me, okay, that in my opinion. And another thing that I loved was actually the way whoever coordinated, I guess, the fights between the Lizard and Spider-Man, the way they had him doing the flips and the ducking and the shooting the webs and everything else. I love the way they shot this. It was a lot more engaging than the 2002 Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. No offense to Tobey Maguire, and whoever worked on that movie, but I love the way they had Spider-Man move in this movie. He just moved just like a spider, and they showed this infamous. There was two shots I absolutely loved. I think you could see it in the trailer where you see him shoot out a web, and then he glides like this. He with both his legs in the air. Then you just see him shoot forward, which I absolutely love. That's classic Spider-Man. And then they show a scene that you see in the trailer probably also, where you see Spider-Man just basically lower himself down. And you see him, he's holding on, and he just lowers himself down slowly. That's classic Spider-Man, and I absolutely love the way they shot that. And I also believe that Andrew Garfield was good as Peter Parker. I loved the chemistry between him and Emma Stone. It was believable, and they had a nice chemistry going together. And I like Martin Sheen too as Uncle Ben. He was really good in their part. Like I said, they changed the origin story around a little bit, but you get the basic message and stuff. And they don't say that famous quote, just for people that want to know. Okay, that's what I'm saying, minus spoilers. You know, the famous quote about, you know, responsibility and stuff. But and they also, of course, obviously, like I said, I'm hoping, like I said, and I also thought Rafe Ifans, I think that's his name. I think he probably pronounced it different. Dr. Kirk Connors, I think he was great as the Lizard and Kirk Connors. And like I said, even Dennis Leary was great as Captain Stacy, who was, you know, trying to capture Spider-Man and stuff. You know, Dennis Leary, you know, he's a comedian and stuff, but an actor too. But you know, he played it. He played his part very well. And like I said, I love this movie. This movie actually had me. I'm hoping they make a sequel. Well, I think they will, because I think this movie's going to make a lot of money. But I definitely hope they make a sequel to this movie. Like I said, and hopefully they'll bring in. They kind of hinted around at this. I won't. Well, this for people who've seen it. I won't say who they hinted around at. If you stay for the end credits, they have a cameo by somebody, okay, and they kind of hint around at something. So which I won't spoil, okay. But this movie was very, and there's another great scene. I remember somebody saying this in their review. Towards the end of the movie, well, yeah, during the big climax, you know, it could have been a part that could have been kind of corny, but it actually a part that really made me smile, and the pride and stuff with New Yorkers and stuff. For those who've seen it, they'll know what I mean by that. Towards the end, where Spider-Man is racing to try to stop the Lizard, something happens in the movie. So that's why I won't spoil it to tell you what it is. But really, really, it was quite touching, actually. Okay, and like I said, I definitely can't recommend this movie more high. Like I said, they changed this origin story around. You know, Peter Parker. They changed it kind of. The details, they changed it around. They changed it around a little bit, but it's the basic. You can still get the basic thrust of you know, of Spider-Man, his origin, how he came to be, which I think is good. Like I said, I think I said before one time in one of my other reviews, I don't mind when they reboot stuff, you know, especially if they can tell it in an interesting way. And I think they did with his origin story in this movie. They did change it around a little bit, but the basic story of how Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man is there. And like I said, you know, Aunt Ben. Not Aunt Ben, excuse me, Uncle Ben, you know, Aunt May there, and like I said, they have a different, you know, Peter's true love, which in the comic Gwen Stacy was good, which I like the way they had her in this movie, and so definitely hope they make more sequels to these movies, which I think they will, because I think this movie's going to make a lot of money. So hopefully, maybe we can see other villains and stuff. I guess, you know, like I said, we had Green Goblin, I think, in the first, and then Doc Ock, and second one, and then Venom. So hopefully maybe they'll switch it up and have a different villain in the second movie they make. And this movie I definitely highly recommend it. Okay, and so this is Trey Packers. Let me know what you think. If you know, did you like the movie? If you've seen it yet, are you going to see it? Feel free to leave your comments down below. And this is Trey Packers saying so long and take care.